Hey guys, what's up? This is the boy who had 7. So today's video, I wanted to show you 3 of my favorite comic book covers. And I want to tell you about the artists who made them. There's so much good art in this industry, and for me, somebody that grew up reading comic books, someone that's continuously finding stuff that I didn't know about, it's such a fun thing to do. And one of my favorite parts about this whole journey that I'm on is literally seeing the art and how it makes me feel. You know, when I go back in time and I look at Fantastic Four #1 or X-Men #1 or Detective Comics #27 and I look at the art related to these books, it's just so neat to sit down and think about the world. The way the world was in 1937, the way the world was in 1963. You know, to think about what this book represented to the little kids and the teenagers and the adults that were buying it. You know, what it means to me when I look at some of my favorite comics of all time and the art that's related. I mean, I get that smell, I get that feeling. I remember being a little kid and touching them and the excitement of being a child. I look at them now and I see how iconic and nostalgic they are. And so I'm going to share with you 3 of my favorite covers of all time. And the other reason I'm doing this video is because I'm doing this support video for Ray Man the Silencer Man. He just recently hit 100 subscribers and he's really excited about it. And I want you guys to go check out his channel and give him some love and some support. And so that's what this video is today. Ray, you are awesome, man. I oftentimes get excited watching your videos. Why? Guys, if you haven't been watching him, he does a lot of flea market pickups. And if you go to a flea market, you get your books on the cheap. But sometimes you hit those gems. Sometimes you find stuff that everybody's looking for. Yet they're paying 20, 30, 40, more than that dollars for that specific book, and yet he's getting it at the flea market for pennies and dollars. And so it just inspires me. I get excited. Plus, you're a real nice guy, man. You really are. I'm really happy for you. I loved in your video how you're like, I'm really nervous right now, so bear with me, because you know and I know, because we're part of this community and everybody else, how exciting it is, how nerve-wracking it is to bare our souls on this video here and to show the world part of us, part of our passion, part of who we are. So I'm happy for you. Congratulations. You're already way past 100 as I checked this morning just to double check I was clear on everything. So congratulations, man. All right, so here we go. I want to talk about 3 books that every time I see them, I just get giddy, I get excited, and they mean something to me. So my favorite character is the Amazing Spider-Man. I just have grown up loving him, and this book means a lot to me because I love his black outfit. I love the Venom symbiote outfit. And this is a book that I got to hand over to 3 of the people who were involved in creating it. Meet them, talk with them, discuss things with them for literally like 30 minutes. And so last year, actually, earlier this year, I had to drive over to Dallas and I took my book and I got this bad boy signed. Look at how beautiful this Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars #8 is. This is just an iconic book to me. Every time I see it, I just love it. And you guys can see here that I've got my poster back there. I mean, you know that. So, I mean, I got these 3 guys to sign it, okay? Mike Zeck is the artist, the guy that penciled everything, drew everything. John Beatty is the guy that inked everything and colored it for us. And Jim Shooter, he's the guy that wrote the story inside, and he was also the editor-in-chief at the time that this came out. So these 3 guys were the main guys that made this comic book, this cover, and that changed the world. This is really neat. This is one of the first appearances ever of this Spidey suit. And I just love it, how he's up front and center. He's got his hands open. He's got that amazing stance. You have this amazing spider on his chest that's different than what we're used to. And then you got all these superheroes in the background just fighting. I mean, what's going on? The Secret Wars, right? It makes you want to pick up this book and read it. If this was the first comic book that you saw from this series, and this is #8, you want to figure out why all these heroes and villains and people are fighting in the background. I mean, it's just so cool. And I just love Spider-Man like that. So this is a really neat book. It means a lot to me. And Mike Zeck is an awesome artist. he's done some other really good stuff. When I met him, I was talking to him about some of the stuff he's done, G.I. Joe's, Punisher, and he's just, you know what, John Beatty, he's been with me this whole time. So he's talking about his friend, and they were standing, you know, sitting next to each other, and they were just talking about how they've done everything together for a long time. Jim Shooter, I loved talking to him because Jim Shooter he told me two things that have really stuck out to me. I love the Fantastic Four. I love reading those books, and those are the books that I'm going after to collect the most. And he was telling me, you know, back in the days, Marvel did things right, and he doesn't like the way Marvel works now. Though they have some good books coming out, I tend to agree with him. They get too involved with political issues, with social issues, and it takes over. Instead of making it a part of the story that changes people's lives for the better, they make it the story, and then they make you feel like if you don't agree with them, you're not as good as them. And I don't like that. That's setting up walls and separating people and dividing the world. What we need to do is tell a good story that gets people thinking, and in the end, it makes them realize you need to love your neighbor, period. No matter if you agree with them or not. No matter if you like what they're doing or not. Superheroes come together, no matter what side you're on, and they inspire us. So we were talking about that whole thing, and he was saying, you know, back in the day, we used to write stories that in one book, you had a beginning and an end. If you guys haven't done this, you should. Go back and read Fantastic Four, number 1, 2, you know, just read the Fantastic Four series. You'll see that each book is a story within itself, and we're missing that. So, you know, I really enjoyed talking to him. I really enjoyed meeting these guys, and I loved it because this book has meant a lot to me. And I have quite a few copies of it. And this is one of my favorite because I've got all their signatures on it. So Mike Zeck, he's the first artist. Couldn't do it without his inker, John Beatty, and Jim Shooter's just a man. So great book, love it. This next one I absolutely love and cherish because as I was a kid and I was looking at, you know, anything and everything pertaining to the Infinity Gauntlet, I found this book. And this artist, I think he's the best at drawing the Thing from Fantastic Four. Okay, maybe you guys have some guesses, but here it is. This is Marvel 2-in-1 Annual number 7, and this is the art. Look at Thing, created by Ron Wilson. I met him this year too, as well, in Dallas, and I was walking by and I didn't know he was going to be there. And as soon as I saw him, and I saw this book in front of him, and not this specific one, but he had one in front of him, I was like, oh my gosh, it's you! And I went over and I talked his ear off, and I couldn't tell him how much I loved his art, how much I loved this specific book. If you guys don't know, this is the first appearance of the Champion. And the Champion is one of the elders that has one of the Infinity Stones. And Thanos actually has to go to the Champion and beat him up and take his stone. And he actually outwits him instead of outpowers him. Because I don't want to ruin it for you. If you haven't read it, go check out this book. And then go check out my video that I talked about where Thanos gets that stone from the Champion. But man, just look at this art. It's so iconic. And so as we were talking, I just told him how much I loved it. He's like, you know what, give me your information and I'll send you a little something. I'm like, no way, can I pay for it? He's like, no, I loved your enthusiasm. I'm really grateful that you love my art. So let me send you something. Guys, check this out. Look at this. He sent this to me in the mail. Check out that. He drew it for me and sent it over. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. That is so cool. When I got this in the mail, I was just blown away. I threw it on Instagram. I was just like so happy. It's just epic. And so I'm getting some frames so I can put it up in my room. But it just made me so happy to get this from him. And that art to me is just absolutely gorgeous, and I love it, and I'm real happy. So this is a great book to read, and this is some of my favorite art ever by Ron Wilson. So, last but not least, this guy, when I first started getting into comic books when I was young, I always thought that this art was a little different. I didn't hate it, didn't dislike it, but as years went on and I started falling in love with the Fantastic Four, and then realizing how much of an influence this man had on the comic book world, and not only that, but pop culture and the world in general, I just fell in love with Jack Kirby's art. Jack the King Kirby. And this is one of the books that I wanted to show because every time I saw it as a kid, every time I see it now as an adult, it just stands out to me. Jack Kirby always made things just come off the page. He made things bigger than life. He just had this rounding and this just beauty in his art. And this is Adam Warlock, or him, versus Thor. And look at these rocks flying off the page. It almost looks as they're coming at you. Look at how big Adam Warlock's hand is as it's getting ready to swing at Thor. And it kind of just, it feels like there's this whole 3D concept to it. I mean, and Jack Kirby did so much for the comic book industry. He created and co-created some of my favorite characters ever. And I just love this cover. I mean, look at that art. It's stunning. So, right now I'm going to throw up some other art of Jack Kirby. If you don't know what Jack Kirby's done, you need to go check it out. Just Google his name and look at all the things he had his hand in. He is just the master, and I wish, now he's not with us anymore, he's gone, so it's not going to happen, but man, I wish that I could get his signature on some of my Fantastic Four books. Him and Stan Lee just changed my world. I just love them both, and I just, this art, these stories, they're amazing. So that's it, guys. Those are 3 of my favorite comic book covers that I own. Let's see if I can get it up here with me. I just think this art is just stupendous, amazing. And Rayman, I hope you like these. I know you're a fan of these guys. I know you know what I'm talking about. So for all of you guys that don't, go check out some of these books. Look at these artists. Find your favorite and comment down below. Let me know who you like. There's so many artists I could have gone with. Jim Lee, you guys know he's my favorite ever. He's the guy of my youth. We got guys like George Jimenez, Art Germ, Tyler Kirkham, now artists today that are just blowing things up and revolutionizing comic books. And then we've got the old good ones, man. So please, guys, let me know what you think down below. Go follow Rayman and let him know I sent you. Tell him what's up. Give him some love. And please like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Do not forget my awesome giveaway that's going on right now. And other than that, guys, I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. And as always, I'll talk to you later.